Well, this trailer is so wide underneath, I can't even get the whole thing side to side in the view. Willie at the No Bucks Garage. No, don't adjust your sets. I'm actually laying down here on my side. I hope I'm in the shot there. I guess I am. But anyway, working on the trailer, as you can see. The goal with this particular process was always to improve it. One of the things that I did was bought a set of 6-foot aluminum ramps, 18 inches wide. Now, you'll say usually 6-foot ramps, or rather just ramps period, are usually put in a rack that's at the tail, as you can see back there, or right there, right just in, you see the Mustang right there. However, from the time that I got this trailer, one of the things that I've always noted is because of the dovetail and the departure angle, the original rack that was on this trailer was beat all to hell, even with the 4-foot ramps that it housed. In fact, this is the original portion of the ramp right up to this point right here. In order to fit my new ramps, I had to use my 2-inch angle that I had in the shop to extend the ramps, and also widen these to accommodate the 18-inch spacing that I needed for the aluminum ramps. The other thing that I did was relocated the rack from the back of the trailer to just in front of the wheels, simply because of the length of them. If I had put it at the back, I would have had to run the trailer ramps underneath or up above the axle at the rear. And point right there on both sides, I put a set of rollers because it seems that no matter what angle of the driveway I would go up, that this tail would scrape. And certainly when the ladder rack was directly in the middle, again, it would get beat all to hell. In fact, it was so beat up it was unusable, even for the 4-foot ramps that I already had, that I used when I initially got this trailer some years ago. So we had this concept where I wanted to put the spare tire underneath the trailer because of the amount of real estate that we have. Now this thing is 84 freaking inches wide, okay? So I have plenty of space underneath it, even with incorporating the new ramp storage rack right here. So again, I took my 1-inch square tubing and some 1-inch angle. We got this spare tire lowering device. Got this off of Temu for 24 bucks. And, read the reviews. A lot of people said that they had problems with these. In particular, that this swedge was so loose that it came right out. Well, mine did not. Now, here's a trick that I learned in reading the reviews on this particular lowering device. If you're going to do this, order it for a 2500 series truck or a 3500 series truck. Some people ordered these based on a 1500 series because it was just a little bit cheaper. And this saddle that goes into the open spot in the wheel turned out to be too small, so some people had to get crafty and weld on or make some other type of device to fit their wheel. I ordered one for 2500, which means this thing is more than wide enough without having to do any modifications to it. So there's a little note for you if you're going to do something like this as an add-on, or if you even got to go to scrapyard, or you got a spare one that you can pull out. So all I did was take my 1-inch angle, cut it between the stragers here. Sorry, that's the wrong term. Thinking airplane. But I cut it to length between the stragers and welded in place, bolted. Nut lock washers and yeah, it's just bolted in place. Now the trickiest part, back up. So the other thing that I had to do was, because this was now roughly 2 inches below where the deck is right now, is I had to create a bumper or a landing spot for the spare tire that would allow it to be wedged into place. So I ended up that would allow it to be wedged into place and be supported. So what I had to do was cut smaller pieces to stack on top of each other to give me clearance. Yeah, you got your clearance to give me clearance and a landing spot for the tire on both sides. And what that allows you to do is right here, you gotta have enough space for your actuating rod to come in here or your crank basically, to turn the device up and down. So you can't have it jammed up against here or up against your rest, because you need space. So that was the reason for that. So now my tire has a place to land. Now, in a little bit, I'll show you what that looks like in operation. But for right now, I'm getting ready to spray all of this underneath with some Rustoleum rusty metal primer. So let me see if I can get this in a position where you guys can see some stuff, and more than likely going to do a lot of time lapse, because who wants to watch paint dry? Yeah, don't everybody raise your hands all at once, okay? Do not adjust your screens. I'm the only person that's in this position. Well, this is the unglamorous side of the trailer you've seen, or maybe you haven't. If you haven't, just go look back in that description down there. There's a whole series on this trailer that I did, my pandemic trailer restoration project. I made the top side look real good. Now, I'm on the unglamorous side of this trailer, doing the dirty work. I kind of feel like that guy Mike Rowe, Dirty Jobs. Yeah, so, check this out. This is what I'm doing. In the effort to protect this thing, and to keep it in some semblance of shape, and to keep the ravages of time away, I finally got the nerve to get up underneath this trailer and begin this process of knocking the scale off of the bottom of the plates in order to put a protective coating on here to prevent the further progress of rust. Now, I don't know if you can see. This section here has already been wire brushed. And as you can see, let's see if I got it on glow, so it's hard to get this thing to zoom. There we go. You can see some of the pitting that has taken place, and That's the stuff that I'm trying to slow down and restore. So this is what it looked like untouched, untreated. Hey, that got exciting, right? Get back to the orientation that I had you in. Here we go, okay. Shaky video came off the mount, so I'm hand holding it right now. This is the untreated surface, and that's magnified 4 times just to give you an idea of what has happened over time to the original coating that was on this trailer. So I have areas like here and here that still have the protective coating from when this trailer was originally manufactured, but you can see that the rust and scale has progressed. And over time, and maybe not in my lifetime to be honest, but over time, left unchecked, it could create a bit of a problem. So I'm going to take care of it now while I got time and while the weather is cooperating. It's 70 something degrees out here in almost middle of November, which is kind of unseasonable, but I am not complaining, not one little bit. Now, doing this in sections because this trailer is 18 feet long and it is a lot of real estate. And we've got things in the way. The new ladder storage rack is in place. We got to be careful of the cables for the lighting, as well as numerous screws and protrusions in the trailer frame itself. And you know, it looks like I'm about halfway there from there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hope I didn't make you dizzy. 4 of these panels in there, 16-inch on center. So I still got quite a bit to go. I'm going to set this thing up. Hopefully it'll stay in the mount. Set it up, get on the stuff, and I'm not going to bore you with this whole process of wire brushing the rust off of the bottom of this trailer, but I'll just take some of it, stitch it together, kind of sort of time lapse it and everything, and we'll figure out how we're going to treat the bottom of it. I do know Rustoleum Rusty Metal Primer is in the mix. We'll see. Well, I'm back under the trailer after a delay. Yesterday, winds were blowing about 25 or 30 miles an hour, but the last video you saw me actually taking the wire wheel and the grinder, knocking off the surface rust and highlighting some of the pitting and the original finish from this S&B manufactured trailer. And I said that there was a lot of real estate, and I hope this is coming through because I'm not using a microphone, or I'm not using any type of microphone, so if the audio is kind of wonky, that's why, basically. But while there's a lot of real estate under the 18-foot trailer, amazingly, I was able to finish it the same day in wire wheeling the surface to get it prepped for the Rustoleum primer that we're going to paint. Now, the plan of action is to start with the rail and do a section at a time. Now, back here at the dovetail, what you notice is the stringers are about 8 inches apart, and as you go further, it goes from 8 to 12 to finally 16 inch on center all the way to the front of the trailer. Makes for a lot of strength, and even though I've known this, realized this after looking at some videos about trailers, makes me glad I got this one. But the plan of action again, we're going to hit the rails and then hit the bottom of the deck. Hopefully I won't spill too much out of the cup of the $9, at least it was $9 when I purchased the Harbor Freight spray gun. And get the primer on here, and as Google says and everybody else recommends, don't just leave the primer on there because it will eventually flake off and everything. So it's also going to get a coat of the same color after the primer is done. Now, the big surprise to me was I got all of this done, like I said, the same day. We're going to see if we can get this thing primed. So last time I did this, I actually got primer on the camera, so we'll see what happens. Hey, I think I got it in here. Got everything going? Get the spray.
We working, we working, now we loving it. We working, so we working, Yes, man. To all the doctors, to all the nurses, the bus driver, them. Taxi man, people on the market, and we're gonna keep on striving to keep working.